everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Eleanor, this is the Nova Nook, and in today's video I'm going to be trying something a little different. I'm going to be building some some townhouses, multi-story apartments, kind of like that vibe. I really wanted something with a lot of height to add to this island and to kind of break it up because most of the builds have been a little bit flat. So that's what I'm doing today. It's just to the right of this little walkway I built in the last video. If you haven't checked it out, it'll be in the description below. But yeah, I'm just starting with kind of pathing this whole area. I actually go back and forth a few times with extending it. So this is not the final size because it ends up being a lot bigger than I originally thought, which was fine. I am so happy with how this turned out. It's probably one of my favorite builds I've ever done in any of my islands. It's not something that I usually do, and I really wanted to experiment with cliffs and like kind of this perspective of buildings and the like medieval thing on top of each other. So that's what this kind of video turns out to be, and yeah, super happy with it, super happy with the kind of little front area that turned out. And yeah, I've just really like this video. So first of all, like I said, I'm just kind of doing the pathing here. I always put the in-game pathing under my custom path because I like, one, the sound it makes. I still want that like kind of cobblestoney brick walking sound, and two, it makes it show up on the map, and I really want my map to be quite full. So that's where we're starting with. I'm doing the pathing, laying the custom pathing on top. Again, I've mentioned this in a lot of other videos, but this is my favorite custom pathing that I have found, so it'll be in the description below. Surprisingly, on this island, I haven't used too many custom designs on the ground. It's been really this pathing, and that's kind of it. I've used a lot of custom designs in other aspects, like on the simple panels and stuff like that, but I haven't used as many custom designs as I've used in my jungle core island, which I was quite surprised about, but who knows, that might change. I have a lot of ideas for this island. Like, I don't want to make the whole island this kind of cityscape. I want some rural areas, like a farm possibly, so who knows what might come about. But yeah, I'm just kind of finishing off this pathing. Like I said, this isn't the final size, so later in the video I do kind of expand it in certain points, because then I'm like, oh, actually these things are a lot bigger than I thought and I did not have enough room. So finishing the pathing, and yeah, like I said, expanding the area because I realized I did not have enough room for the medieval things that I wanted to add. Can't remember what they're called. So I'm just doing that now, and yeah, I'm really loving how this island is turning out. Like I said, I have so many ideas and I'm so excited to actually build them. It's like finding the time to actually build them is the issue because, you know, I work full time, so, but it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm hoping you all are enjoying this island as well with me. But yeah, I'm just finishing off this custom pathing. I decided to end it up here, finish off the actual square. I guess it's kind of like a town square. I mean, it's not really. It's part of this town square area that I've built, which I will be adding more to. I want to include the Able Sisters as well as the Nook's Cranny somewhere along here. So this is just expanding. This town square is turning into the whole island, to be honest. So I use a mix of the castle walls and the medieval building side to kind of build out this townhouse area, I guess you could call it townhouses. So the idea was, you know, I have the medieval sides at the front, I have a staircase in the middle to act as, you know, the stairs leading up to some of the homes, and then I use these simple panels with this window design on them to fill out the front. So that's kind of the vibe I was going with. I'm just playing around here, seeing what looks nice. And then I wanted to put these planned partitions at the front. And as you can see, I've realized there was not enough room to the right of this as well, so I had to expand that a little bit. I think I expanded by 2 or 3, I can't remember. I think it was only 2. And then I go in and fill out no, it was more, so 3. And then I go in and obviously put the custom path on top. But yeah, I was like, oh my god, this is not enough room at all for what I wanted to do. I really underestimated how much room this build would take. But like I said, I'm so happy with it, and I think it's one of my favorite builds on this island. This island is starting to get a little laggy, I've noticed. So running over to some areas, I've noticed that the items take a little bit to load. So we'll see how this turns out. It might just end up being a very, very like super laggy island, but that's fine. It is what it is. You know, not much you can do about that. So I'm just finishing off there, and then I go in and put the other 2 sides on. So I wanted that gap in the middle to add a staircase later on. So this isn't the final actual layout because I needed to actually separate them more to add the staircase, because I could not center the staircase for the life of me. It just would not center. So I had to add a bit of space in between them. So yeah, I'm just putting down these simple panels now in front of the medieval signs, and they line up so nicely. So the top of the simple panel lines up perfectly with the cut at the end of the arches, and I just think that looks really nice, and it's perfect height. And then I go in and add the plant partitions in front of all of them, kind of to make it look like a balcony, I guess, just to kind of give that separation, and so you don't see the bottom of the simple panel as well. And again, I'm just putting the castle wall on either side. I go back and forth between having it quite close together and then having it kind of more separated, purely because of these cliffs at the back and how I need to align the staircase. So it ends up being a bit of a gap between the castle wall and the medieval side, but I think in the end it looks okay. I mean, if I would do it again, I would probably have that gap less if I could, but in the end, you know what, I liked how it looked on this island, and I did fill in those gaps a little bit. So now I am just putting some cliffs at the back here, just making it another level so I can add more of the medieval sides. So it kind of gives that multi-story effect. And yeah, as you can see, I have to kind of move everything because I was trying to get that staircase centered, and it just would not center. Like, it took me so long to try to get this center. As you can see here, that wouldn't center as well. So I think I finally, no, I still had to move things over. So yeah, I had to move quite a lot over. Didn't realize how much room I needed, but I got it centered. But then I was like, oh, actually, no, it's too far out. So I go in and remove some of the cliffs and give it a little bit of a gap to kind of really wedge the staircase in there. And then I had to go in and fix up the back as well. But yeah, I like how that looked, and I think towards the end I also moved the medieval sides closer to the staircase. So you needed that room either side to build it, but once it was actually built, I could move the stuff closer, which was quite handy. So I'm just tidying up the back here, and then I think I go in and place the staircase there. I went with the brick staircase because I thought the colours matched quite well with the roofing on the medieval side buildings. And yeah, so as you can see, I'm kind of pushing them now closer because I really wanted them quite flush with the staircase, and I kind of played around here if I wanted the cliffs gone and that wall closer, but then I realized I couldn't add as many of the medieval cliffs towards the back that I wanted, and that was quite important. So I end up leaving it and leaving that bit of a gap, or I build it back up, sorry, and kind of leave that gap between the castle wall and the medieval side because I really wanted the 2 and 2 on either side, and it wouldn't fit with that cliff space up there. I needed way more cliff space. So I'm just putting that back, and then I go in and replace the medieval sides and all the simple panels, and the plant partitions in front of the cliffs. So yep, now I'm going in and placing the plant partitions back in. And yeah, at this point, I was absolutely loving how it looked. I think it looked so cool. I was very happy with this build. And then I think I start to, place a few things around. So I wanted to do this utility pole in the corner. That other corner I didn't really do anything, but I did place some street lamps as well, just in front of the entrance, as you know, residents need light, even though no one's really living here. And then I wanted to add a few other things, but I really wanted to extend this area down because I wanted more of like a courtyard feel, and I needed some more space. So I just extend this down by two rows, and that gives the perfect amount of space. I haven't closed off the right hand side in case I want to add something in the future and like extend it out and continue the path. So I haven't closed it off, but I do close it off at the bottom with a couple fences. So I have some ideas of what I want to put to the right of it. I also have to figure out where the river is going to go, because I don't want just a flat island like that. I do want some river throughout it. So I've kind of started the river towards the back, but I want it to be quite a structured river, at least in the town area. You know, the town area they've built around the river. So I want to make it quite structured, and maybe towards more the rural side of the island, make it more of a less structured kind of river. Yeah, I guess. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, just finishing off this area, I extended it down, and then I kind of wanted to put a flower bed there, and now I'm just filling out this area. So I have some more items. I really wanted to incorporate a lot of the iron furniture because I felt like that kind of fit the vibe of the buildings behind quite well. Obviously, you know, you need a trash can, and I wanted to make it quite symmetrical. So we've got the benches, the street lamps. It's symmetrical without being, you know, completely identical, which is important. And obviously, you know, we had to add a cruiser bike. We have these bikes all over the island, which I quite like. It gives the sense of like a movement and, you know, people traveling throughout. So I was going to do just this iron fencing, but then I decided to kind of stack the fencing. So I did the hedges down first, and then all behind it I put the iron fencing as well, just to kind of give it a just different perspective of what I was currently using. I thought it was an interesting approach. I've seen some other builds have something similar, so it's in no way my own idea. I have seen it before, but I thought for this build it would look quite nice, and I'm quite happy with it. I think it gives it a nice, it's still that same structured, but this like structured nature, if that makes sense, with the hedges. And then I just add these iron chairs, and I have two sets of the iron table and iron chairs, so I put them throughout, and I might go back in and put some stuff on them later just to add a bit more character to the area. And I like that I didn't have them completely, you know, centered with the benches as well, just to add some difference. I once again love the piles of leaves. I think they're a very nice item, because they add such, you know, movement to an otherwise kind of static items, you know, by being able to walk over them. And same with the hay bales, or the hay item, having that, you know, be able to walk through and move through, I think is quite cool. So I wanted to add some more height, so I decided to put one of the cedar trees in that corner just to kind of fill out, because it was looking kind of sad there, and then I add a flower bed just in front as well, and then I finish off the fencing. Towards the end there I just left with the iron fencing because we did have the nature behind it with the flower beds. So this is how this is looking so far. Very, very pleased with how this is. So now I go up to the top of the cliffs and I want to add the other medieval building sides. So I add them here. I don't push them directly up because I wanted to be able to see the window from the level below. So that was important to be able to see the window there. And I don't know, I think it gave it a bit more height, not having it completely pushed up, because you could just see, yeah, more of the building. So I add 2 on either side. Trying to add this one in was a little bit tricky. I had to maneuver myself a few times around it because it just would not go in. It was quite tricky to get in there. But yeah, I had 2 either side. I didn't even realize, but I had added the 2 on the left a row back than the 2 on the front, and I'm like, wait, what? They don't match. So I had to go up there and just push the other 2 forward just so you couldn't see the grass too much. And then I think I time traveled to the next day to have the bridge in place as well. So I think I do that quickly, and then I go back up because I wanted to add another layer behind the bridge. Sorry, not the bridge, the staircase, because I wanted it to, I didn't want to see just sky when you looked through it. I wanted to look like there was a back of a building. So what I decided to do is I just decided to add the castle walls right to the very back. Because they're the same colour as the medieval side, they matched quite well. And it made it look more like there is a back to this building, like it's not just sky, like you can't, it's the, back of the building. So, and I think that looks quite cool and very happy with it. So I think that's the last touch, and yeah, that's it. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's one of my favourite builds I've done so far. So if you like it, please give a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. And yeah, very happy with how this turned out. I love the kind of character it gives to this area of the island, and some good height and just something a bit different, that it's not necessarily a shop, but yeah, like I said, very happy with how this turned out, and thank you so much for watching. And if you liked it, please give a like, and I'll see you in the next one.